Hey everybody, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. We are back on the YouTube yacht, which is our boat-shaped, boat-themed rental cabin that we're building on our property, and we're in the framing stages right now. Now in the previous video we got to this point, so if you want to get caught up to that, I'd say just go back and watch it. Now hopefully by the end of this video we get the framing done and we can start getting a little bit of sheeting up. We are also, because today is the day that a video posted, I'm going to answer some of your questions that you're leaving in the comments. Starting with this question. Yeah, absolutely. There's supposed to be a board that sits right here that the header sits directly on. It's called a jack stud or a trimmer, depending on what side of the Mississippi River you're from. The Mississippi is the dividing line for construction jargon, and that's actually the next step in the process. So let's go ahead, get some tools on, get the generator and everything fired up, and we'll explain it. Speed square, chalk line, tape, pencils, hammer, knife. That's all we need. That's it. Bring some of these studs in here, and then we can cut all the jacks and everything we need right here in place. This railing works out well for a platform. Nail gun. I popped these up real quick just in case we got some wind or something last night, but they can come off now. Get them out of the way. So whenever we did these studs, remember we had to measure them all different lengths off a string line to make up for the slope that's in the concrete. You have to do the same thing on the jack studs. And I thought about just trying to measure and get it like that, but what I figured would make me happier and get a little bit tighter cut is if I went ahead and stood the walls up, and then I can actually measure this distance from here once it's actually sitting in place like it's supposed to. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around and make a cut list of all these. Then we can pop those into place. I want to make sure, got a bunch of studs stacked. I got to make sure they plane decent. Otherwise it's going to be hard for the sheeting and the finish on the inside. I need to pull that one just a little bit. Not a lot, right about there. That one is going to be a little awkward, but I think we can get her. Come on. Come on. Yes. Mm-hmm. Up, up, up. Yes. Oh, very nice. Just gonna put one here to hold it. All right, get ready to switch gears here for just a second. I'm gonna plumb this wall up behind me. I want to throw a double top plate on so we can tie those sections together since they're a little wonky. And then we'll do the same thing all the way around. Get the jack studs in on that side, get them plumbed, and get the doubles on. Then we can go in and do the crips down below with the sills. Before I do that, I want to go ahead and pull this into plumb and get it cross braced so it's plumb and ready to go. With just a touch out, easiest way I know to do it by yourself is either with, I think I've been watching too many channels from New York. I slipped into an accent. I don't know what happened there. a come along or a ratchet strap. We're gonna try a ratchet strap. Let's put the level on it first. I'm gonna go pull from the top to the bottom that way. And we are about, looks like we need to go a heavy half. You think it matches on the other side? Well, that one's looking spot on. And how big of a gap do we have here? Oh, about a heavy half. Well, that gap closed up. Pretty close. Let's see what this end is. Might need to go just a little bit more. Well, not much. Oh, that looks great. Oh, that's perfection. And I'm here for it. All right, let's throw a cross brace on there so she stays. You can see how out that wall is. I'll slide that top plate over flush and we'll get this wall straightened out a little bit. Make sure they plane nice and everything's looking great. Beautiful. Now it's still wonky out of plumb this way yet. We haven't done anything to address that, but it's at least now all tied together. So we've got those all the way around, the exception being obviously the door opening. I just got the door opening framed with the zip tape on the bottom for my capillary break between the concrete and the bottom plate. We're gonna go ahead and try to get this stood up into place. Excuse me, all right. Kick that out just a little bit. Slide this where it needs to be. Kick it back in. Oh no! It's okay. Everything's fine. Very nice. Hopefully both ends match. Very nice. Go ahead and run a top plate on here just like we did the other side, and since we're going to be doing the top plates, you might as well just go ahead and run top plate all the way around. Be done with that part. So the whole point of these double top plates is to tie all these sections of walls together. So we're going to be overlapping stuff. Let me get this one cut out and in place, and then I'll hop over and show you up top what I'm talking about over there. Don't know where that came from. 85 1/4. Top of the ladder is where you'll always run out of nails. That's a guarantee. So you see how there's that splice like that? Whenever we take this top plate piece that I cut, slide her down until she butts. Comes over here. And that ties that together like that. And then whatever space is in between, we just put another one there to fill it in. Pretty simple. Should be able to measure this one off the ground. If it's not the same up top as it is down here, we've got a little issue, huh? Beautiful. So all the jack studs are in all the way around. Double top plates are on all the way around. She's kind of locked together a little bit better than what she was anyway, which is great, and I'm excited. Next thing, the sills and the crypts that go below them. Let's get those knocked out. We're getting close to the point where we can start putting some sheeting on there. I gotta double check my window schedule, but building on slab, especially a slab you know has a poured slope to it, it's time consuming. But I gotta cut my little pieces here that the windowsill sits on. And to make sure they're the same height, because they're all gonna be different, just like all the studs are different, just like all the jack studs were different. We're just gonna measure down what the RO is. Then we're gonna measure up, take off 1.5 inches for the thickness of the sill, and I'll have to go around and mark each one and get a measurement for each one. It's time consuming on the sloped concrete. To save time, so I don't have to pull the tape measure out on each one. I just measure the board the correct length, because the top down measurement will be the same. Double check that that's accurate. And it's kind of like a story pole. There's not a lot to this story. Saves me a lot of time. Now I just go around and mark them all. And then once they're all marked, all I got to do is measure up to that. Write down whatever we got. And then cut them. Easy peasy. Then I just went around and staged them after we got everything cut. Make sure everything lines up the way it's supposed to. Make sure it's sitting on the line. Pop it in. Easy peasy. If only I had a hitting device. Oh, I missed. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. Oh! Now, all of these should be the same. We'll double check. Absolutely. I love it when a layout comes together. Is that not just the perfect height window? Would you look at her, bud? A few people asked why no window on this wall. There's going to be a TV on this wall. You got windows on both sides, plenty of natural sunlight, and where you're sitting is going to be probably, most likely, some type of sleeper sofa. Now, although this is not technically a bedroom, because just who I am, I want it to be ultra safe. And there is the possibility that somebody would be sleeping on a pull-out sleeper sofa. Pretty good chance of it, honestly. I want to make sure my windows meet egress fire codes, which means that window cannot be any taller than 42 inches off the ground. And we are golden on that. It doesn't have to meet it here, but it does. You know, above and beyond. I enjoy it. By the way, that reminds me, building codes, anything like that, this is a big country with a lot of different states and a lot of different opinions on how things should be done, which means there's different codes that vary from state to state, from county to county, heck, from town to town. And if you're building, you want to double check with your local inspectors and make sure you're doing it the way you're supposed to be doing it for that area. That's fine, I wouldn't worry about that. I am curious about something here. With all the whoop-de-doos and whoop-de-don'ts that we're trying to make up for and make a good level wall, what do we look like? Well, we look like perfection. Daggone it, bud. How'd you do it? Oh, a little math and common sense goes a long way. Yeah, that's not the worst thing to have. Look at this. Would you just look at it? Oh man. You could not, excuse me, could not get this smile off me. Look at her. Oh man, all right. Need to get my crips in, and then we'll be ready to start sheeting into this video, but not today. I only got an hour left today. So we've got all this done. It's a new day, it's a new morning, and we're almost ready to start sheeting on this thing. There's just a couple little details we got to get knocked out first. Then we can start putting some of that zip system up, which I'm pretty excited about. So before we get started, I'm going to run a chalk line across here. Remember, our bottom has quite a bit of variance because of the slope in the concrete, but our top plate should be relatively level. So I'm going to measure down the distance I need on each end. We'll chalk a line, and we'll set the top piece first. And then we can come in on the bottom side and make any scribe cuts that we need to make. As far as horizontal or vertical zip system, the installation guide says you can do it either or. Just do whatever your local code says. Everybody where we're at runs horizontal with no blocking. Need to reverse these braces because I got them on the outside. They're already sitting plumb. You guys let me know if I get too close to that edge, will you? So this is the zip system we're using. This is 7/16. They say you can leave it uncovered for 180 days. It's got the nail patterns on it. I believe the squares are 24-inch on center, and these are 16-inch on center as far as studs going this way. And they want you to measure your outside edges 6 inches on center, and they got that marked out for you too. They say there's supposed to be an 1/8 inch gap between the sheets, and the factory edge has this little bump out that manages that gap for you. But if I were to have to rip one and bump it, I'd have to manage that gap myself, which wouldn't be too bad. The other major component to this zip system is the zip tape. All the joints get taped and rolled. They're pretty serious about it. They've got it printed all over it. Roll the tape. And I believe it's printed on the tape as you go as well. And I do have the roller. So if I'm hanging stuff by myself, I got my chalk line. Just something for that sheet to rest on while I can get it nailed off. Just makes it a little easier on me. Should be the 8 foot there, so we'll drop one right here. I just got to make sure that the top of that's actually where the line is. I don't want to be above it or be too high. The only other thing that I do that's a little bit different from what I've seen other people do, this is construction adhesive. It's not actual spray foam. It's delivered through spray foam, but it doesn't expand like spray foam does. It uses the same applicator gun and the same fitting, but it's actually construction adhesive. And I like to glue my studs. It's an extra expense, but it also adds an insane amount of strength to it. So what you're getting for the dollar, I think is worth it. Oh, maybe a little more pressure. That's not too bad. That's not bad at all.
I'm gonna go ahead and hop down and start working around that way. I know it seems like a lot of waste to sheet through all these openings, but I can't have, or I don't want splices right here. I don't want to cut and fit these pieces. If I end up with splices, I'll lose a ton of my shear strength. But this piece right here, this would get cut out. It's fine to piece this one in. The rest of it though, I don't want to sacrifice that shear strength for a couple dollars. Not to mention all those cutout pieces I can save and put in the barn and use for shelving or whatever I want. Then I can just start over here with a full sheet coming this way, figuring out where the 16 breaks. That's there, 88 1/4.
Well, I got a little bit of a rainstorm come through. Nothing too crazy heavier, but nothing too crazy heavy, but heavier than I wanted to work in. We got just, I don't know, 2.5 more sheets due down this wall. Let's get that on, and then we're gonna go around and we're gonna take a Sawzall blade and start getting these windows and openings cut out. Hopefully that'll get me at a good stopping point for this evening. We'll talk a little bit about this back end. As far as sheeting this backside goes, got a little bit of a drop here. Not the best working platform as far as that goes. I'm gonna wait until we get the backhoe back, and then I can pull the backhoe up here. I can work out of the bucket and be able to sheet that. Not that big of a deal. It'd be nice to get it done just for the stability of it, but with the cross braces on the inside still, it should be okay until we get to that point. Coming along nice, looking pretty good. Next video, we'll be right back on this. We'll probably be skipping one upload day. We got a trip coming up. It's kind of like a fall break time of year for us. So we're gonna be skipping one video. I'm not good at day math, so I don't know what day this video is uploaded. But whatever this one is uploaded, the following regular upload day, there's Thursdays and Mondays. Whatever the following upload day is, there'll be a video skipped in there somewhere. So just anticipate that. But then we'll be picking right back up on this thing. We got to hop up top and kind of start going with the floor system, the rim joist. And because we're building this like a boat and we've got these big wide windows, we got to do something a little tricky up top. Because we went with that design, those regular double 2x10 headers aren't going to be quite enough for the staircase opening beams that have to go up there. And because what we're going to be running, which is called a rim joist header for the staircase opening beam, we'll probably just run it the full length because there's only going to be a couple feet left anyway. The point is there's some fun stuff coming up, and I'm pretty excited about it. We got one more level to go. Maybe a little surprise after that. We'll see how it goes. It's cool to see your vision come to life, and it's cool to see this thing pop up out of the ground. It'd be really cool to catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.